Bengals fans, happy Sunday, and more importantly, happy game week as the Bengals get ready to square off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up on Saturday for week 1 of the preseason. But we'll talk about that matchup a little bit later in the week. For today's show, the Bengals obviously have had 8 practices in training camp thus far. And what comes with a lot of practices? Well, some injuries naturally have popped up for Cincinnati. So that'll be the focus of today's show. Give you some news and updates regarding the guys that, may have gotten hurt last week or simply just not out there practicing with the team. So that will be the focus of today's show. But before we get into that, make sure you guys subscribe to our channel here at Bengals Breakdown. We will have a watch party for you guys coming up on Saturday for that preseason game that I just mentioned. And you don't want to miss out on that. So hit that sub button. This month, we're not in a sub battle against any of our other channels here at Chat Sports, but rather a sub battle with ourselves. We're trying to meet our sub number or surpass our sub number from last August. And as you can tell, we've got 35 subs so far this month, and we need 286 to be able to pass last year's mark. So help us out. Do us a favor. Hit that sub button so you don't miss any Bengals updates, news, rumors, watch parties, you name it, we got it here at Bengals Breakdown. First guy we want to focus on today's show is Cam Sample. And out of all the guys we're going to mention here, this is apparently, or it seems like, this is the most significant injury that the Bengals are dealing with right now. He left Bengals practice last Thursday with an apparent left leg injury. Hasn't been exactly too clear on what he has done specifically to his leg. That really hasn't been reported yet at this point, but it does seem to be pretty banged up, and he did not practice Friday, and I do not expect him to practice later today whatsoever. Here's what Kelsey Conway of the Inquirer had to say in regards to Cam Sample. She said, defensive end Cam Sample was carted off the field and was seen in the Bengals locker room getting around by a scooter with a left leg injury. If he is seriously injured, it could end up being significant for the Bengals. Sample is a reliable and versatile and defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo asked him to do a lot of different things up front. The Bengals have kind of been, hush-hush about these injuries so far. They haven't really come out and said much. But, the scene at practice when Sample went down was not a good one. And Sample's a guy that, really needs to be out there for Cincinnati because they're already pretty thin at the defensive end spot with Hubbard and Hendrickson not, practicing. Sam Hubbard tweaked his knee, and Trey Hendrickson is believed to have some sort of chest issue, which we'll focus on those guys later on in today's show. But Sample really is the main story right now, and he goes down, and like I said, a lot of people are speculating that it is a significant injury, and we will certainly provide updates for you when we know more. But for now, he's getting around by a scooter, and it's some form of left leg injury. So what is your concern level with Cam Sample's injury to this point? I am, I'm pretty close to I don't want to say full 10, but I'm certainly up there at this point. For me, because like I said, I think people around the building have an idea that this might be something that could cost him a decent amount of time, and we're talking about the regular season as well. But let us know what you think with the pinned comment of today's show. Scale your concern level for Cam Sample's injury 1 to 10 right now in the comments section. Jermaine Burton is the next guy we're going to take a look at here for Cincinnati. Of course, the Bengals rookie wide receiver, and he did not practice on Friday after leaving with an apparent ankle injury on Thursday's practice. And this doesn't seem like something that is too severe. There have been a lot of people out in the media reporting that it's just kind of precautionary what they're doing with Jermaine Burton. It was significant enough for him to, stop practicing Thursday. But as far as, beyond that, I expect to see him out on the field at some point this coming week. Will it be today? I'm not sure. We'll have an update for you guys if that is the case. But Burton's a guy that the Bengals have a lot of high hopes for, right? And he was having a really good training camp leading up to this kind of minor setback in terms of this ankle injury. Burton is a guy that he's really physical at the catch point, obviously. And the Bengals have, struggled a little bit in terms of just trying to get guys that are completely, ready to go, I guess, as a rookie receiver. Like, that can be a little bit difficult to kind of get acclimated right away out the gate, and Burton has been doing a great job of that. There has been some miscommunication stuff with Joe Burrow. But overall, the Bengals are really pleased with where Jermaine Burton is at, and we will see if he makes a return to the Bengals practice field today or if that will come later this week. But again, not too concerned with Jermaine Burton. Some other guys got to hit on Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, right? These two have not been practicing for Cincinnati. Trey Hendrickson showed up and practiced the first day of Bengals training camp, but has not practiced since. Again, they think it is a kind of a chest issue, and with Hubbard, that is a knee issue that he is dealing with. And both of these guys are going to be fine. It's again a precautionary thing. Let's take a look at Charlie Goldsmith's tweet that he put out the other day. And kind of in regards to these guys, he said, Zac Taylor said Sam Hubbard is week to week, as is Trey Hendrickson. Wouldn't expect anything this week. So he was talking about last week there. But they're known quantities, not in a rush, a precautionary timetable due to the time of year for those guys. And it is significant because they're kind of reeling at that defensive end spot right now, which I've alluded to earlier in the show. But Zac Taylor did say that if this were the regular season, these two guys wouldn't be day-to-day and they'd be ready to go. So it's very much a precautionary thing here with these guys. They've been there. They've done that. They've been in the league for a long time. So these reps aren't nearly as valuable to Hendrickson and Hubbard as they are to some of the younger guys. And, hopefully the extended reps for these backups is going to help them, right? Because, you got guys like Joseph Osai who's going to get a lot of reps. Sample goes down, so that opens the door for other guys. Cedric Johnson is one of those guys as well who the Bengals took in the 6th round of this past draft. He was a guy, the Bengals really love their draft picks, and it's very rare for them to cut one, but he was kind of on the bubble for me in terms of he was going to make the roster for Cincinnati. And I think, depending on how he takes advantage of these reps, he could put himself in a really, really good spot in terms of making the football team for Cincinnati. He had a really great 2023 at Ole Miss, put up a lot of numbers, as you can tell there, 40 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 6.5 tackles for a loss, and a forced fumble as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays because he's really going to get kind of thrown into the fire here at this point, given the fact that the Bengals are so thin at that spot. Once again, it's an opportunity for you guys to get interactive with our show here on Bengals Breakdown. Will Cedric Johnson make the roster? Again, the Bengals typically hold on to their draft pick. It's not like them to cut somebody that they picked in that year's draft. But let us know what you think in the comment section. Type Y for yes or N for no. I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time because today's show is presented by Game Time. And I love the summer because Major League Baseball is in full swing, and I love making the walk down the street from our Chat Sports offices here to a Reds game every chance I get. I actually purchased tickets with Game Time when they got no hit the other night. So it didn't exactly work out, but Game Time did a great job of allowing me to get my tickets for that game. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And with the NFL season just over a month away, you can get tickets to watch the Bengals at Paycor Stadium. And Game Time doesn't just have sporting events either. Concerts, comedy. You want to go see a play at the Aronoff Center down here in Cincinnati, you can do that as well via the Game Time app. And I really love the zone deals. You choose the section, and Game Time actually chooses the seat for you. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets or NFL tickets or whatever tickets you want to buy with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off first purchase. Check out GameTime.co for last-minute tickets. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay, so Amarius Mims left Thursday's practice a little bit early for Cincinnati, but he practiced on Friday. And it seems like it was just a heat-related issue with Amarius Mims, okay? Reporters were talking to him at his locker, after Friday's practice, or after Thursday's practice, rather, and he was kind of laughing it off. It was really humid here in Cincinnati last week, and it's going to continue to be humid over these next few days. So I think it was purely just a heat issue with Mims. Again, he went out Friday and practiced, so, he's played at Georgia, so he's accustomed to the heat, but this humidity here is no joke. So, again, nothing serious with Mims. He was able to get hydrated, and he was out there Friday as well. But I do want to take a look at what Joe Burrow said about Amarius Mims, because Mims has really had a fantastic training camp, and obviously he's been given extra opportunity for given Trent Brown's absence to this point. Joe Burrow said, that guy's pretty good right now. His mindset, his athleticism, his size, his willingness to be coached, grow, and be all in is a plus. So sky's the limit for that guy. I'm really excited that he's on our team. And, as a Bengals fan, I think you certainly should be excited that they have Amarius Mims. Right now, he's in a prime position to compete for that starting job because we have not seen Trent Brown. And everything you hear about guys talking about Mims, they really like how he's, acclimated to the team thus far. And he certainly needs to continue to trend in the right direction. But he's very much in line to potentially challenge Trent Brown for that starting right tackle spot. And we will have watch parties for you guys all season long, and that starts here on Saturday with preseason game number 1. So make sure you guys hit that sub button so you do not miss out. Again, we're trying to beat our August 2023 numbers. Help us out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/Bengals TV. So while we were in the middle of filming, some news on the Trent Brown front actually came in. Brown has been cleared. He passed the physical and is cleared to practice. So that's certainly significant. He's been on that non-football injury list for the entirety of Bengals training camp up to this point, but Brown will be out there on the practice field for Cincinnati today. As far as how involved he's going to be, that remains to be seen. But now this competition at right tackle is really going to start to heat up because we're going to get a chance to really compare Trent Brown and Amarius Mims, seeing them both out there on the field at the same time. But certainly great news for Cincinnati. Brown has been cleared, and we will see him out there on the practice field for the Bengals in training camp. Some other guys that were on the rehab field on Friday, just real quickly, I want to point these guys out. Ivy and Maxwell are pup guys, obviously coming back from significant issues. And then Jay Tufele as well was on that rehab field for Cincinnati. Biggest takeaway here is that defensive line room is really just tackles and edge guys alike really just kind of beat up right now. So Bengals don't have a ton of, they're pretty thin at that spot right now. So that's really the biggest takeaway. Hopefully Ivy will be ready to go at some point. Big fan of him. But, that's kind of what you're looking at right now for Cincinnati in terms of guys that also were on that rehab field on Friday. And make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at StoneShields_. Got some great highlights up of some of the 2 bombs that Joe Burrow threw on Friday's practice. There's some great video there, so go check that out. That is at StoneShields_ on Twitter.